So in this example, we will plot the residuals for the average temperature versus gas consumed. Again, we're dealing with average temperature versus gas consumed for a house that was just had insulation installed. Temperature and gas are our variables. We did, in fact, before call that X was our average temperature, our independent variable, and Y is our gas consumed, our dependent variable. Though we do call them predictor variables and response variables. So to do this in R, which is the easiest place to get residuals, is you want to create the linear model. So LM gas tilde temp, gas being your dependent variable, temp being your independent variable. Make sure you put them in order. The tilde, that symbol right there, is next to the number 1 on your keyboard, and it's the second button. You have to shift to get there. I went ahead and gave it a name, so I went ahead and called it lm.out equals that linear model so that I can use that later. Then the command in R to get the residuals is residuals, and then the name of your model inside. And this is what residuals look like. It doesn't line up perfectly when I copy it from R, but basically these values, the first X value had a residual of 0.07, the second X value had a residual of 0.02. The third one had a residual of 0.35. So if you look up here, the first one was negative 0.7 with my X, so that corresponds to this 0.07 residual. And so this is what those residuals look like. It's hard to tell what they are and whether or not they're random patterns, so we are going to plot them. To plot them, we're going to do plot and then temp, comma, residual. So temp is because we want to plot them versus the independent variable of temp versus those residuals. So these kind of become your Y variable. Actually, they are your Y variable. So again, just calling it residuals lm.out so that it will recalculate those. I wanted to give it a title, so that's what the main is there for, and residuals versus average temperature was the title I wanted to give. Remember, put it in quotes to make it display that. And then this command here, the AB line 00, that just will put in a horizontal line into my graph so that I can see kind of what's happening. And this is the graph of the residuals. So here's my AB line, and I see I have some dots up here, some dots down here. No pattern. I can't think about how I could draw a pattern. So these are very random in a way to think of it that way, which means that the model is the assumptions behind this analysis for the model would probably be true when we get into those assumptions. So that's how you get the residuals.